Good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever this video finds you. My name is Janera, and I just wanted to give a snake juice update and what I've discovered. Now, let me start out by saying I've been doing it for about 5 weeks now, and I'm still doing the 48-hour, what I call baby fast time frames. Maybe one day I'll graduate to 72 hours, but here goes. What I've discovered about this protocol is that it's true that fasting certainly does break addictions, but the second part of that is that it's mind over matter, because I've discovered that once I'm done with the fast, I no longer crave those potato chips. I no longer crave those fried foods, but so it's like my body doesn't want it, but then my mind, see, that's where the battle is, where you have to exercise that matter over mind or mind over matter, depending on how you look at it, because my body doesn't want it, but because my mind knows that I'm used to it, that it'll sometimes win out. And when I have yielded to the temptation of having maybe those potato chips or that fried food, I realized something, that it's not as tasty, it's not as delicious, it's not as satisfying as it may have been at one time or another. And then that's when I want to plop myself up against the head and say, you know what, it wasn't even worth it. You really didn't want it. But see, my mind, that's where the battle is. And that's why they call it a journey, because you have some good days, you have some bad days. And I couldn't help but to think about when I spoke to a dear friend of mine who's a recovering substance abuser. She's abused heroin and cocaine and alcohol in the past. And we talked about her addiction from time to time. And I said, you know what? I appreciate your disclosure, but what I think one of the major addictions out here is food addiction. And it's something that we don't talk about because we need food to live. But then it's where the abuse of food and is when we find ourselves in a trick bag, because you can look at someone and tell they obviously have a food addiction because it shows up in their body composition. Now, a substance abuser of drugs and alcohol, they may be able to hide it better, but then it eventually rears its ugly head. It eventually shows up. And I've concluded that I'm basically a recovering food addict. Hi, my name is Janera, and I'm a food addict, and that's just the truth. But I'm managing it, and even with this protocol, I've been monitoring my diet, and I'm doing very well. I started this process at 188 pounds. At this time, I'm down to 171 pounds and counting. I'm still a fan. I love this lifestyle. For anyone who's still on the fence, who's thinking about doing it, I highly, highly recommend it. And I just thought about something that I hadn't planned on sharing on this video, is that even with fasting, I've discovered that it seems like I'm stronger. I'm stronger emotionally, spiritually, and mentally as a result of fasting, because before I was fasting, there were certain things that would kind of rock my boat. But at this time, the way I feel now, being able to manage this, it's like water off a duck's back. I'm so calm. I'm at such a peace. It's amazing to me. It's incredible. It's wonderful. And as I said, I'm just thrilled. And I've never been one of those who post videos on YouTube. As you can see, I have about just a handful, but I'm such a believer. I've been so persuaded by this protocol that I felt like I had to share, because it's beneficial in so many different areas. I'm still a fan. I still plan to have this as a part of my lifestyle because it's good for you. And I won't ramble any further because long videos I find annoying. But if you like, feel free to subscribe, mention your comments so we can share and just make it a better life. I believe in that. Each one reach one, teach one. We can learn so much from one another. You all have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, good night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.